They may have muted you. Oh, you unmuted you then. They muted you, probably.
Hey everybody, welcome to another show here with Anstead's Tobacco. We've got some special guests joining us today. Wayne, why don't you go ahead and introduce all of our guests for us?
I'd be glad to, Tom. Well, we got some special guests here today from Gurkha Sindicato Cigar Company. We'll start off with Christine up there. She's the National Marketing Director. Juan Lopez, I think the National Sales Rep, right? And Cookie up there, who is our salesman at large. And we have a special guest down here, the CEO, I believe it is, of the cigar company, is Jim Colucci. I'd like to welcome you guys to the show.
Hey guys, thank you for having us.
Thanks, Wayne.
So, hey, Jim, I don't know if everybody knows in the world who you are. Our customers do. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your history and how long you've been in the cigar business?
Well, it's real easy. I always remember how old my daughter is because she was born a month after I joined the industry. So April 1st, 1974.
Okay.
All right, that's about 40 years the way I count.
Great. Very good.
37 of those years were.
We're talking about 7:55, correct? Okay.
Oh, here's some background noise there. Okay. Go ahead, Wayne. Keep going.
Yeah. So who did you work for before you went? Where did you start in the cigar business? Tell us a little about yourself.
I started with Consolidated Cigar, okay, which later on became in the year 2000 Altadis USA. All right. So I've been in 37 years with Consolidated / Altadis USA before I retired.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about so one of the main focuses, one of the cigars we want to bring to our customers we've done really, really well with here is the Sindicato cigar. It's one of Tom's favorite. He loves the Particulares. Tell us a little bit about the brand and how it came about as far as the brand and maybe how old it is.
Okay, well, we're talking about Particulares as a brand. Particulares started in 1895, okay? And I think Tom's the one who likes the story about this and how it started. So everybody's very familiar with Alonso Menendez, okay, who was Benji Menendez's father, who's the creator of Monte Cristo cigars. And when I decided to bring out the brand Particulares, I read up on the history of it, and I ran across that it was the first brand of cigars that Alonso Menendez bought, the first company he bought in 1930. And I called up Benji because I had many years I worked with Benji. And I said, Benji, fill me in on the whole story about Particulares. So he told me the story. And while he's telling me the story about his father buying the Particulares factory in 1930 and how his father found out that one of the brands the company owns that they never commercialized was a brand called Monte Cristo. And I always, at Consolidated, we always had this story that Monte Cristo was something that Mr. Menendez developed in 1935 because the reader at the factory would always read the story of the Count of Monte Cristo. So for years, we had this story of how Monte Cristo was named after the Count of Monte Cristo. And Benji told me it was the farthest from the truth. Okay, nothing to do with the reader reading the Count of Monte Cristo. And then there's a backstory to this, Wayne, that even the people at Altadis don't know. They don't now because I told them. So Benji was telling me that, the Monte Cristo brand wasn't owned by Benji's dad in the United States. And one day, his Connecticut salesman for tobacco, tobacco, was, you would know, Edgar Coleman Sr.'s dad.
Yeah.
And so Edgar Coleman Sr. dad, the owner of General Cigar later on, but he was just a tobacco grower back then, came up to Alonso Menendez and said, "Hey, listen, I see you're selling Cuban Monte Cristos now. Would you like to sell the brand in the United States?" He said, "I'd love to." He says, "Well, listen, I own the brand." And he said, "I'll give it to you for $1. Just get, just a transfer of the document." So lo and behold, this story that Monte Cristo was developed in 1935 is really not true, because Benji showed me a box of Monte Cristos that his father owned the brand was from 1865.
Wow.
Not 1935 like everybody talks about.
No,
So the brand was made with Cuban tobacco in Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, wow.
And Benji, I have the picture of it. So that's how it started. But Particulares is a brand that is now owned by Aganorsa Salif. I went to Eduardo Fernandez. They weren't using the brand very much. It was a small brand for them. And I said, "Could I repackage it?" And they said, "Go right ahead." And so I worked with Arsenio Ramos. And Arsenio told me he'd love to make a blend that was like cigars used to be made before the revolution. And he said to me that this is the closest cigar that he could remember pre-revolution. And obviously it's all made with Nicaraguan tobacco. There's no Cuban tobacco, but it has the essence, as he said, of a real good Cuban cigar prior to the embargo. And I think that's why a lot of people like it. It's got a lot of flavor. It's got a little spiciness. It's not real strong, but I'd say it's a medium, slightly on the way to 3/4. And it's got a beautiful wrapper. It's shade-grown Corojo, grown in Jalapa on Eduardo's farm. It has a double binder of Condega and Jalapa binder. And it's all Esteli and Condega filler.
Okay.
I've got a great picture of that here. I can show everybody. Comes in these classic style boxes, and it's a box press cigar. It looks good and it tastes amazing.
Yeah, one of the things that's the original look of the packaging from back in 1895. A little modernized a little bit, but basically that's the package. I found it in historical stuff, and I basically upgraded it a little, but that's basically what it looked like in 1895.
Okay. Well, question for Christina real quick. We've carried the Sindicato line for quite a while. And about 2 years ago, you guys kind of redid all the packaging and stuff. You guys really did a great job on it. I mean, it doesn't really affect how a cigar smokes, but from a retailer's perspective, how it sits on the shelf and how it catches people's eye does make a difference. And your all's upgrade about 2 years ago was really huge. Were you part of that?
For Sindicato?
Yes.
No, I wasn't particularly part of that revamp for Sindicato. I have been for the future ones. I've been working with Jim on them. But yeah, we do get a lot of feedback from the sales guys like Juan. Everybody comes back and tells us what works best on the shelf. And we try to make changes accordingly.
Awesome. Yeah, the boxes really look good. Packaging looks good. And of course, great cigars. Hey, Juan, since you're the national sales guys, why don't you tell us about the difference in Sindicato brands?
Let's see. I'm trying to unmute myself here. You guys are gonna do? Oh, there you go. For me, Sindicato being a new venture, a new venture for the Gurkha, part of the Gurkha portfolio. I personally like, tell my guys we push it more like our boutique side of the company. Again, like Jim was saying, the brand itself, that Particulares everybody loves. The regular Sindicato, the Maduro and the Corojo, that's one of my personal favorites. I love those cigars. And again, it's got that Cubanist taste to it. It's got that beautiful packaging, like you were saying, Wayne. and they're all really different. You know, it's a unique smoking experience, and the way we're trying to push it out there to our consumers is, you know, if you want something boutique on the boutique side, what more boutique than a Sindicato made by, obviously, you know, one of the best growers of tobacco in the Gaza Aganosa, and obviously, you know, the legend that passed away a year or so ago, or a year and a half ago, Arsenio Ramos, which I got the pleasure to meet and hang out with him a few times. Great man. And again, it's just a different smoking experience. You know, we're using top grade tobacco from what we feel is the best tobacco grower in Nicaragua right now. You know, pretty much I put a Aganosa up there with anybody else. And again, it's just a different smoking experience altogether.
Awesome. Yeah.
I got a great picture here of those two Sindicatos, the Maduro and the Sungrown.
Beautiful.
I think
great. I mean, just look at the wrapper. Look at the wrapper. Look at the finish. Look at the construction. I mean, it smokes like it looks. It looks beautiful. It smokes incredible. I don't think I've ever had one of those cigars tunnel, and I smoke a lot of them. And I mean, it's just really they're really when they're making these cigars, they're really precise on making sure they're using the best tobacco, making sure they have, you know, the same rollers, same bunchers to make these cigars, which is always key. And I think that's why we're having the success that we're having with the brand.
Yeah, if I could step in on top of one and say, he brings up about some of the best tobacco. One of the differences that Eduardo Fernandez and his tobacco is a lot of the growers in the Esteli and Nicaragua are also cigar manufacturers, but the biggest part of their business is selling the tobacco. Eduardo does something a little different. He keeps the best for his company. And all his tobacco is good, but most of the other people allow the big manufacturers to come in and select the best. Eduardo takes it first and then come in, show them the sorting, but he's already taken the A+ stuff off the shelf, basically. So it's a unique part of his business.
That's awesome. Hey, so tell us a little about the Cubico cigar. It's one of my favorites. You know, second to the particular Aries. So Juan, can you tell us a little bit about the blend of this cigar?
Let me unmute you, Juan. Hang on a second.
Oh, you a little bit about it? Oh,
there we go.
Sorry. Oh, there you go. I would say, Wayne, that I will have Jim describe the cigar, because I will do it no justice, because I really don't smoke a lot of those. Because as you know, I have a really large portfolio of cigars with Gurkha in itself. So when it comes to the Sindicato side, I'm more in the, I like the Sindicato, the Particulares. Cubico, I smoke very few. To really give you an honest opinion on the brand and the flavor of the profile in the cigar. So I'll pass it on to Mr. Colucci.
Okay. So, Wayne, one of the things is when Sindicato started and we were picking who was going to manufacture our cigars, I was worried that Sindicato being a small company, that we'd be better off going with a manufacturer who also was a big grower, so that they would always have the best tobacco. And so on the Cubico, we went with not only the cigars guys, but we went with Oliva Tobacco, and their factory is Noxa. And the tobacco is from John Oliva's farms. It's got a wrapper from Ecuador. It's an Ecuador Cubano wrapper. It's got Nicaraguan binder and all Nicaraguan filler. But it is an Ecuador Cubano wrapper all of it from the farms of Oliva. That's John Oliva and Oliva Tobacco.
Okay.
It's a very unique cigar. Their blender there was not very well known yet, but I think Raul Dessel is going to be one of the future guys we're going to hear a lot of. He's really a great blender. He trained under not only Cuba, but also he trained under AJ Fernandez. He worked for AJ. So he's learned a lot from AJ. AJ talks highly of him. In fact, when I was visiting AJ once, he was on the phone with him. They still communicate together. They're friends. Obviously, one of the great things about our industry, when you go down to whether you're Dominican, Nicaragua, Honduras, all the blenders and all the factory people all are friends, and they talk to each other. They help each other. If someone needs tobacco, they work together. So it's a great industry, I can tell you. And that, in 1974, I joined it. I came from the food industry. It was a big difference going into tobacco from the food, because everyone, even the competitors, are friendly. Not in the business.
Well, that's the way it should be. Most times, competition, I think, honestly, is good. You have competition and you share. I've heard stories all along where new cigar guys go to different rollers, manufacturers, and they're all incredibly helpful as far as sometimes helping them out with some tobacco, some ideas, and things like that. So that's pretty cool that all works there. So awesome. So this Friday, we're going to have a special guest in the store, and he's right there center screen. Cookie, you're coming out to visit us Friday, aren't you? He's muted too.
All right, I'm back now. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Yes, looking forward to Friday, man. I'll be there probably about 1 o'clock starting and stay till at least 9 or so, whatever time.
Okay, sounds good.
Looking forward to it. All
right, so we'll have all the Sindicato brands and everything set out for our customers to look at. Steve has been hawking this cigar for quite a while, so he knows quite a bit about it as well. So it's a great opportunity to come talk to him about the different brands, and we'll have some specials running Friday as well too.
It'll be a good time.
Yeah.
Hey, I do have a question. I don't know if Ron or Jim can answer this one. Do we expect to see anything new coming from Sindicato in the next year or two?
I think probably not this year, but in 2021 there will be something new. Gurkha this year, we just introduced the San Miguel.
Right.
So that's our new baby coming out of Gurkha, and that's also a cigar, a great cigar that Juan worked with me on, and it's from Aganorsa Leaf. It's a great price cigar. It's right there. Everybody's going to enjoy it. I know Juan likes it already.
I love it. It's and it's funny because the one thing that we've and I meant to tell Christine and my guys too, is when you look at that San Miguel, you realize it's made that old Cuban style. So it's got the triple cap. I think it's the first triple cap Gurkha cigar we've ever made. I think we've done that before. So that in itself is the elegance of the cigar. The cigar smoke's unbelievable. I think everyone that I've given it to, or my friends have sampled it with me when we go out and have a cocktail or whatnot. Everyone's like, dude, this is probably one of the better cigars. I mean, obviously the Nicaragua series has done incredible for us. Again, that's another amazing blend by the Arganosa guys out there. They do a hell of a job. And then we also have the new Castle Hall made in Nicaragua by American Caribbean Cigars, and then we have the Dominican made by the Frias family in Dominican Republic. Again, value cigar, great smokes. Everybody has smoked. Every time I was out with my boys the other day, and I gave it to one of the guys, and he started smoking it, and he's like, "The cigar is awesome." I go, "Tell me, what will you pay for that?" He's like, "I'll pay $8, $9, $10." I go, "Yeah, how does $4.75 sound?" They're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's that good of a smoke." And because we're again using really great tobacco, and we felt that we needed something at a decent quality, at a price point, to hit that niche of that $4 to $5 price point. Because a lot of cigars start at $4 or $5, and then every year they go up in price, and before you know it, they become a $10 cigar because tobacco does go up in price and whatnot. But I think that we've set ourselves to have this product be successful because we're able to manufacture a decent amount of them and keep that price at where it's at right now. And I don't see, unless Mr. Colucci is going to raise the prices in a year or two, but I think right now it's such a great spot that we should be able to move some decent volume on that kind of product.
What kind of sizes are you looking to have in it? Just kind of the normal.
So we have okay, on the Castle Hall we have the Robusto, your typical Robusto Toro 6x60, America's top selling sizes. Okay. And then on the San Miguel, because it's got that Cubanist thing to it, feel, smoke, the whole thing, man. The cigar is amazing. When people try it, it's they're gonna go crazy. It's really that good. So we have we made a Corona size, for that quick smoke. A lot of pepper in the beginning, a little bit of earthiness to it. Really, really good smoke. Then we have the Robusto and we have the Toro. Again, we didn't go 6x60 on this one just because Cubans don't make 6x60, so we wanted to keep it in the Cubanist kind of, feel to it. But as we all know, unfortunately, Lanceros don't sell, Coronas don't sell as much, but we felt to get the full experience. I think when you smoke that Corona at, $9, $8.50 or so, whatever, maybe I think it's $8.50. It's not a bad price point for that quality and kind of tobacco. And I think people are going to be shocked by the flavor that cigar has. It's really, really amazing. I'm really excited to bring it out and go out and have my team and I go out and promote it and obviously educate the consumer on the product. And I think it's going to be another home run for the company.
That's awesome.
And when did you say that was shipping?
What's that?
That will be we're shipping that out probably in about 3 weeks, Jim? 3 to 4 weeks.
The first order, the first packaging is coming up next week.
Yeah.
So we'll probably be shipping in 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah. Every year we kind of look at what we sell the most of, and obviously 6x60, 7x70s, all that kind of has got their own little niche. Toros and Robustos are always neck and neck. It's always a question as which one outsells the other. But we're seeing a lot of people going to some of the Corona size cigars more so. So some people don't have as much time. I just think it's a better flavor profile when you're smoking some of the smaller sizes and the gigantic ones. So I think we're seeing a lot of our cigar guys are kind of leaning to some of the Corona sizes as well.
Yeah, again, that's a lost art. That size that people don't go to anymore. Just like it's the same thing with the Lancero. I love Lanceros. I think just the flavor on those cigars. I mean, you get to taste that wrapper, which, as we know, it's 65 to 70% of the actual flavor of the cigar. It's that one leaf that makes that much of a difference. It's pretty crazy, but that's when you really get it. Is when you go down to Nicaragua, Dominican, Honduras, Costa Rica. You have everybody when you're blending cigars, you're always trying. You don't try a Corona. You always do what sells the most, which is the Toro or a Robusto, mainly Toros, because that is the #1 selling brand. So you want to know that flavor profile. So when you go out and you educate the customer on the cigar, that's that 60% of the population smokes Toro, and then another 30% smokes Robusto. So you got 90% of the cigar smokers smoking those two sizes. So when you blend with those two sizes. But when you give them that experience of that, either a Corona or a Lancero, it's just a different experience. So the thing is this: you never see guys. There you go, nice. You never see guys smoking those sizes at cigar shops for whatever reason. They're like closet Lancero and Corona smokers at home. Nobody smokes it in cigar shops. I've never seen a guy with a Lancero. It's always Robusto, Toro, a big 6x60, or a big Asylum 7x70, 8x80, blah blah blah. And which again, I've never. I don't even do 6x60s. I top it out at 6x54, and work my way down from there.
People asked me, said, "You smoked every cigar in here?" And I said, "Well, most of them, but I've never touched a 6x60 or 7x." Well, I won't say I haven't smoked a 6x60, but the 7x70 is not happening. That's just crazy. Real quick question for the Gurkha side, who makes you guys really hit a home run with that new Nicaraguan and the 30th anniversary cigar? Those are fantastic. Who makes that cigar for you guys?
That's Arganosa, man. Those guys, again, when Jim went down there and he knew what he wanted. He knew what the frame of thought and the profile we wanted on those cigars. So we wanted a little something, a little more flavor throughout the cigar, because a lot of our stuff, starts off medium to full, then it peters off a little bit into more like the medium. And I think when you smoke a Nicaragua, I mean, I tell the story to everybody. When I first smoked it, it was like 10 o'clock in the morning, 10:30 in the morning on an empty stomach. And I go to Jim, dude, this shit kicked my ass. I was like sweating. I couldn't have lunch. I mean, it was like, I turned green. But you know what? And it was only a few weeks old, and it was already a really good cigar. Then when it settled in after a few months, when we started shipping them, then it really just marinated, all those flavors marinated, all tobacco marinated, and it made for a fantastic medium plus, depending on what you smoke. But the flavor, man, that cigar, man, same thing with the Trenta. Trenta is a great smoke too, but I'm a huge Nicaragua guy. I love Nicaragua series, great smoke.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of, of course, we're still moving traditional, the 15-year, 21-year, all that kind of stuff. But not 21-year, we haven't had it in a while, but that's beside the point. But the
it's okay. It's okay. We got something called the Real. That's a good cigar as well in the mild sector. So you might want to push the guys onto those.
Yeah, but we're seeing a lot of folks, we're recommending that Nicaragua, and people absolutely love it. It's just, and the 30th anniversary as well too. So fantastic.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I like that Trienta a lot. That's a really nice.
Yeah, the Trenta basically is all agricultural tobacco except for the wrapper is from Oliva tobacco. It's the final wrapper.
Okay.
So it's all great tobacco. And that's
Right. And for all the listeners, the Olivas, and I know Jim keeps saying the Olivas, so we're talking about not the Miami Hialeah Olivas with a brand Oliva. It is the John Oliva out of Tampa that they own. I don't know how many acres of fields in not only Nicaragua but in Ecuador. And those guys, again, that's them and ASP. When it comes to Ecuadorian wrapper, nobody's better. I think.
And on the Real,
There you go.
where's that wrapper from?
Ecuador.
That's Ecuadorian, Connecticut City Ecuadorian. Mm-hmm.
That's
That's a beautiful
pretty
smoke,
popular.
man. That's a great mild to medium. It's got flavor because it is again, it's just an elegant smoke. That's what I call it, because you can smoke that in the middle of the day, you can smoke it at night, you can smoke it in the morning. I know Cookie smokes 5 of those by 6:30 in the morning. He really does. I go into a car at 9:30. We're traveling. The guy's like halfway through his second cigar. I'm like, dude, did you sleep with a cigar in your hand? I mean, what? I mean, really? I want some coffee.
I see Will's got a message for you, Juan.
Yeah, I see us. My man Will. What's up, big boy? What's up, big sexy? I love that guy. That guy's my dude, man. I know him that him and Cookie are really good pals, and I know that we've done a few joint events with Will at your shop mainly. I want to say, but he does a hell of a job for the guys over at Drew, and he's a good guy. He's good people.
Yeah, they're our permanent Christmas party crowd. So
That's right.
Love having here about a week, 10 days before Christmas every year. Have a big Gurkha event, and it's always really been successful. So,
and hopefully we can go back. Hopefully we can go back to the Blues and Brews Festival again.
I know, man.
I missed that.
So many events. Yeah, that's true. Will and Cookie also do our Blues and Brews event every year, which is huge. We sell more cigars in 4 hours than you can shake a stick at. And
wow, how many people show up to that? A few thousand, 3, 4, 5,000, or how does it work?
Probably somewhere in the 15 to 18,000 people are there.
Wow.
Yeah, we sell a lot of cigars in 4 hours. You can ask Cookie. I mean, it's nonstop. It is nonstop, and it's usually about 105 degrees. Feels like we're in Florida.
I got in my car this morning, and when I say rain, was no joke. It was thunder, rain everywhere. It was, it's been really, really bad. I mean, cleared up a little bit now, but it's getting cloudy again. But it's been like the hottest summer we've had in a very long time here in Florida. Muggy, 95 degrees at all times. It's like during the nighttime, it's 95 degrees.
I feel like Florida's moved up our way. It rains here every day about 4 o'clock. And I thought, every day. It's hot and humid. It's just awful.
Hey, listen.
morning.
No, I heard that. Yeah, I just heard that this morning that you guys had an earthquake up there.
Yeah.
No. And you know what? We see our stuff coming, which is always good. That lets you prepare with the bourbon, the scotch, the vodka, the cigars. That's we get to prepare that way. So what was crazy to me is that even the hurricanes now are just going, let's just skip Florida, go right up to the Carolinas.
Yeah.
So you guys have been getting hammered, man.
Yeah, we got earthquakes, tornadoes, hurricanes, rioting, sunburn, everything.
We had grasshoppers in that hurricane too. We had it was like a pestilence of grasshoppers.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. See, for us in Florida, Christine will tell you, and Jim will tell you, we get, when the hurricane's coming, when you see all the ibis birds, they all come out in flocks. Those big white birds come out, and you're like, something bad is about to happen here, and they come out all the time. It's weird. So grasshoppers, huh?
Yeah, well, we get the opposites too. I always get the opposites as well in a hurricane.
Ibis is it's UM's mascot for
That's
real.
right. That's a mascot. Correct.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you don't get to play the channel to watch the birds, right? Hey, we always do a couple of trivia questions, and we'll get Tom to come up with a couple trivia questions,
Good.
or
How are you?
get either Juan or Jim. And then what we'll do is when people ask, respond via Facebook, they can either go back and watch the video, or if they remember, we may have talked about it. We'll actually give away a few prizes Friday night with cookies there. So, Tom, have you got anything down that you might like to throw out there?
I've got one for them. Should be a pretty easy one if they've been paying attention. Where does the newest cigars from Gurkha and the cigars from Sindicato, what family tobacco does that come from? Whose tobacco are they using that makes it so fantastic?
Good question.
Question number one.
Great question.
All right. And I think, Jim, you got a good trivia question for us?
Yeah. What year did Particulari's start in Cuba?
Okay.
There you go.
That could be an easy
I gotta go on. What year was Jim Colucci born? I'm convinced that Jim was born in 1875. That's when Romeo and Juliet, I think, came out in Cuba. He's a vampire, that guy. Actually, there was a good one for Arganosa. Who was the original blender of Argano, which he's no longer with us, Arsenio? You know what we're talking about. Who's the original blender of the Sindicato? I know I just gave the answer away, but yeah, that's a good one because
I thought Jim was the original blender.
No.
Well, Jim sat there while they were blending. He was right next to him. He was handing him the leaves. Yeah, another one of these. I'm only Harold. That's awesome.
Well, how many years was I in the cigar business? Could be one.
That is true.
125 years.
Yeah. It's funny, your story, Jim. We tried like crazy back in 1983 went to all kinds of different banks to get a loan to buy the store. Economy wasn't so good in 83. And finally a bank says, yes, we'll loan you the money. So when the banker called me, I said, well, we had to come down and sign the papers. And my wife was just delivering my oldest son at that exact moment. And I said, well, I could meet you at the hospital if you want to sign there. And he says, we can wait till next week.
And those are the good old days of what, 18% interest, 22% interest back in the. It's crazy.
It's not like it is today, that's for sure.
No.
Yeah.
Cigars are like $4 for a Romeo Julieta.
Oh, absolutely. I remember Davidoff back in those days was like $6.50, $7. I mean, crazy. It's just.
I've got a book here in the store. We found when we moved from the old store here. Back we were a tinderbox binder back when we were a tinderbox. And we didn't price our cigars individually. Of course, that was pre-barcode days. And so we used a grease pencil and wrote it on a sheet of paper with pictures, the little cell sheets they used to have for the cigars with all the shape charts. And so I bring that out and share with our customers every now and then. There's not many cigars over $2 in 1983.
No. Nope. How times have changed.
Yes, it has. It has.
It's funny because I have a cigar dossier that I've kept for a while, and I started when I was a Toronto. And man, so you get the band. You guys probably sold it at your store, Wayne. That you get the band, you glue it, you rate it yourself, you put the little tasty notes, and then you put the dollar amount. And I remember like Perdomo, $3.50, $4.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I mean, even I remember buying the Grand Reserve. The Gurkha Grand Reserve that with the cognac, that was like $8. I mean, it's on the expensive side, but I mean everything. It's crazy how the prices. I mean, like anything else. I mean, back in I started in '96 into the business, but back in those days, I mean, you could buy a box of cigars for $120. Yeah. Now it's good luck finding that. That is. Really
so Jim, I got a question for you real quick, history-wise, since you said you were Consolidated. Did Consolidated make the Vencedor cigar? Do you remember that brand?
Which one?
Vencedor?
No.
Okay. No. Used to be a brand we carried years ago, and I love the cigar. I think it had It may have been from the Canary Islands, but for the love of God, I can't remember who made that cigar, but it's long gone.
Oh, okay. So there's there's a Canary Island product that we used to distribute at Toronto. Was called Flor de Palma or something like that with a green and gold label.
Okay.
That was from the Canary Islands. So we distribute that for like a year or two, and then we also distribute Dunhill for about 2 years back in the early 2000s, and then Dunhill went away.
So, Tom, do we have any questions from our viewers out there today?
Was it? What did you say? What?
Do we get any questions from anybody today?
No questions right now from anyone. They're all taking a break from work to come and watch the show, so they're popping in and going out. But a lot of people will come back to watch the show. I mean, we've had one show that has had over 3,000 views. So awesome. People come back and watch it. They try to answer those questions, and then I've got to go through and log each person down, assign them a raffle ticket. So it takes a while, and then we get to draw those live as well. We'll go live Friday with Cookie. We'll make him draw the tickets.
That's right. That's right.
Make sure when he draws a ticket is before the 6th bourbon. Make sure you put the hand in the bucket. Make sure you put the hand in the bucket. Oh, the bar, yeah, the bar's closed, but his jelly thing is not.
I'll give you some trivia. So in 1974 was my first year in the cigar business. So the Premium Cigar Show, which was then the IPA, was held in the Staten Island Hotel in New York. And you used to go in each company's room. They had a suite, and they would sell their ware. And back in 74, Juan, a premium cigar was considered anything that was selling for over $1.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Crazy.
Well, I actually got into the cigar business, or really back in my day when I got in, it was the pipe business. And we didn't really sell that many cigars. I mean, we had a fairly good-sized cigar humidor considering the volume of cigars we did compared to pipes and pipe tobacco. It's just amazing how this industry has changed. Right. We still do a great pipe and tobacco business, but man, cigars is definitely where it's at.
Well, I remember I was. Go ahead, Jim. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
In 1974, Juan, the number one selling cigar in shape was Lonsdale, which was
Lonsdale.
6.5. So that was the best selling shape.
Go ahead.
The crazy thing I remember in our humidor, probably 30 to 40% were Candela wrappers.
Oh yeah,
back then.
I like Candela.
Yeah, you don't see many Candelas. Not too many I really favored too much, and I was never a fan of them. But it just amazed me how that kind of evolved away.
Yeah, well,
it's just like you guys remember back in the day, Wayne, and you were in your old store, and you remember back. I mean, I think it's been now maybe the last 12, 15 years that people are really started to do lounges. Before it was go in, grab your cigars, and I'll see you later. Now people are, you got this lounge where you can hang out. Like I always tell people, you become friends with these guys, and in a lot of cases, you become family with these guys. It's pretty crazy how that also has changed. In 1996, when I got into it, there was very few. I mean, very, very few. But back then was also when Tinderbox had over like 350 stores or whatever it was, a crazy number. And yeah, it was grab and go and go smoke your cigar at home and have a good day. And then that's changed, and I think that's helped the industry a lot. I feel bad for guys like yourself that you have this beautiful bar and beautiful, great store, two stories, and I mean it's amazing. And you can take advantage of that here in the last 4 to 5 months. I think you guys have been shut down, but this too shall pass. And I will say this: I've noticed though that a lot of people are still smoking a lot of cigars, man. It's not that hasn't really dropped off. It seems like when you have the opportunity. I had an event here in Miami when it first opened up, like to second phase or whatever, that was like 50% capacity. We literally within 30 minutes of the event starting, it was forget that. It was like Jim goes, go ahead, go away for 150 days again. You're hugging and kissing people, and within 2.5 hours of the event, here came the cops and started kicking people out, and they shut the place down for like 2 days for that reason. Same thing happened when I was just in Kentucky. We did a new Gurkha lounge up in Kentucky, and it was 50% capacity. So it's 2 stories as well, really nice place. we had like 50, 60 people, and then we have people waiting outside. So now if you're a member, you could go up to the member second floor, and that place was packed up there. People were coming down and buying cigars. But if you're not a member, they give you a 45-minute. You can sit there for 45 minutes, and then you have to go. So somebody else can come in. It was crazy. It was nuts. And I mean, we ended up selling about $6,000 in cigars, 5 at a time kind of thing. A few guys bought boxes, but everybody went in and bought, and it's Paducah, Kentucky, which is in the middle of nowhere. And but amazing lounge and a really, really educated cigar community.
Yeah, it's like we did a sporting clay event June 4th because I figured it'd be all over by then. Ooh, I was naive. And I think we had 52 participants. Cookie was one of our vendors that came out and shot with us, and it was a challenge. It's never in my life I tried to have an event and keep it small. So
Right.
we could have filled this place up, but what we did was all the shooters, because we had our vendors set up and kind of sell with social distancing and spread all out the store, took a lot of the cigars out of the humidor so they could sell them. So we allowed the folks that participated in our shooting event to come in and shop, but we kept the lounge closed to all the rest of the customers. So by 3:00 in the afternoon, we let everybody else come in. So just trying to keep business going and rolling without. It's crazy times. So.
Well, it happened. It's funny because it happened to me and Kenny. We were in Tennessee and in Memphis, and we had set up an event and a town hall meeting, and whatnot. And we get there, we're like, why is everybody outside? Like 60 guys outside. And I'm like, what's going on? It's 90 degrees here, So we go in. The cops were putting a black tarp on the bar, and one person at a time in the humidor. So you could imagine me walking one guy, literally passing it off to Kenny, walking him in, explaining to him the deals, pass it up to Kenny. Then he did that, and I did the selling inside the humidor. And we ended up having a decent night. But within the first 5 minutes we were there, the owner's like apologizing. Oh man, these people, and supposedly they targeted him because they know how the crowd gets there on Friday nights, and they had a big spike, the 2 days before in Memphis. So that was like we're so upset about, because we know every time we've done an event at Havana Mix, Rob's place, we have an amazing turnout, and he's got a lot of Gurkha guys out there. So it was pretty crazy. Well, I mean, Jim, I'll tell you, Jim's made me cancel all my trips, man. I got more credits than American Airlines right now than got me. It's like credit. So when I went to do my expense report, I'm like, I'm at minus $3,500. Okay. Do I get that money? Yeah, that's crazy. It's been pretty nuts.
We have to have you come out, Juan, when things open back up.
Oh, I would love to. I mean, listen, I've always loved you and Ben and the whole family, and you got great customers, and I'm sure Big Will will be out there. Here's my dog. Big Will will be out there also, just because that's what Will does. He's, again, going back to what you guys were saying earlier. This is one of the only industries that everybody really does get along. There's very few haters out there, and those guys that are the haters, we don't associate with. So we just push them to the side and do our own thing, So that's what I love about this industry.
Yeah, we gotta have all of you up here, everybody. Christine,
I would love to.
Juan, Jim. Hey, Juan, you can bring the dog too if you like.
Yeah.
Nah, it's okay. So we'll go ahead and whoever buys 10 boxes, we'll raffle off a day with Christine.
I need to go buy.
Yeah, she's single now, so I throw it out there every Zoom that we do. I throw it out there, and all these guys go crazy.
That is not part of our marketing plan. No.
Is it more than 10 boxes or just 10 boxes?
No.
It's 10 boxes minimum 10 guys. So it's $100 guarantee sale. You get a day with Christine. Hey, whatever it takes to make money, man. We got to do what we got to do. We got to move some product.
Hey, Wayne, I'm going to go put an order in for 100 boxes. Okay.
See, it works, Christine. I told you it works.
This was not in the job description.
Yeah.
not yet. Colucci right now is writing it right now. A little extra on the bottom of your contract, and it says twice a year Christine gets raffled off. I love it.
All right, Juan.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you guys coming on today and chatting with our customers and telling us customers a little about some Sindicato cigars. Look forward to Steve coming on Friday, and I think we're gonna have an awesome event.
Well, we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for having us again. Wayne, Tom, thank you guys. You guys are awesome, man. Continue much success. Stay healthy, and say hi to the family for me, Wayne.
We'll do. Everyone, Christine, and always, Cookie. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Take care, guys.
Thank you, guys. See you Friday.
Bye.